Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this evening's program On Time with your banker and financial advisor, sponsored by Dole Yogurt, Securities and Exchange Commission, and Paradise Water. Last week, we interviewed Dr. Richmond Otuahene. We did not get to the end of our discussion, so we are back again this evening to continue from where we left off last week. Please don't go away as we take this short break. We'll be right back.
What a new way to cool off and quench your thirst. And now everyone is enjoying the surprising experience of Paradise Park treated drinking water.
Hi.
Join the refreshing experience and enjoy the all-new Paradise Park treated drinking water. Paradise Park treated drinking water. Drink pure, live more. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Dole?
We want more.
Welcome back, viewers. This program is sponsored by Dole Yogurt, Securities and Exchange Commission, and Paradise Water. Yes, sir. You were so passionate when it got to the capital market and financial market.
Our coach, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he deliberately set these developmental institutions so that we can focus on developing the sectors. In 1965, he said, set Agric Bank solely for Agric. Set NIB solely for manufacturing and industry.
Set Bank for Housing.
No, the Bank for Housing, I'm going to mention a person's name which people don't want to hear. General Kutu Achampo, in his wisdom, said that we need to look at housing. So he set, in 1972, set the Bank for Housing and Construction. Oh. In addition, in 1974, he said, set another development agency, that is Social Security Bank.
Oh, okay.
You see, those people are brilliant and they are wise. But the latter generation, we did not stay focused where we were supposed to. If we have looked at these developmental agencies critically and source funds or give them enough capacity, we will not be where we are. Agric will not just grow by 7% according to figures came last week. Manufacturing is crying all over the place because
I don't think we even have vibrant manufacturing.
Yeah, that's why we have.
That is my perception.
That is why we're going to set these free zones, but that is not the issue.
I think it's coming up with the one dam, one.
If you're able to do that, resource the institutions and help them to not only financing, capacity, staff training, the extension officers, the seedlings, nurture them, land acquisition. Then we will be saying that we are supporting Agric.
Land acquisition. Now all lands are being turned into building structures.
Well, there are still lands. If you travel between Kintampo to Tamale by the other side, Yape area, the land there can cultivate food basket for the whole West African sub-region. Yes, the lands are still there. When you go into Kumasi, forests are there. Is that the government would have to acquire it with the chiefs being shareholders or the owners being shareholders, so that when at the end of the day, profit has made, dividend is paid to them. We can do that. Until we come to do this Agric, with all seriousness and funding the development banks, we'll be just being a country of a laughing stock of importers. Everybody wants to import.
Everybody not wants to import. Everybody is importing.
But nobody
And
is exporting.
We love the imported products.
Let
more
me
than
tell you,
what we
last year,
manufacture here.
gold gave us 6 billion. Cocoa gave us 2.5. Oil gave us 3.4. But if you go to the downside, the imports,
Yeah.
we hit nearly 17 billion. So if you
Wow.
if you net it off, we are in the current account deficit. Today people are talking about account deficit. What they haven't talked about is that it's a temporary measure. You don't depend on oil. Once you have Dutch diseases coming to countries when the oil comes in, they take off their eye from, say, sectors like agric, and they all look at oil.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, if I'm in charge, I will not even look at oil. I will focus seriously on the agric sector and
For
the exports.
exports.
Exactly. So that this country can be where one of the challenges we have of depreciation of the currency is that continuously, our current account deficit ranges between 9% of the GDP to about recently 2.7% of the GDP. Negative. And this translates into depreciation of currency.
It's true.
Because we are importing more than we are exporting.
And that is how come there is too much currency moving out of the country.
Exactly, because we are not doing a productive systems. We are just importing.
Importing, and no foreign currency.
So everybody is looking for foreign currency, but nobody is bringing the foreign currency. We bring cocoa. Let me tell you a story. Cocoa gave us 2 billion this year.
Yeah.
Last year, we used 1.1 of the 2 billion to bought rice. What happens to us? There are rice fields at Fife, other areas. Couldn't we develop it?
Even in the north.
Couldn't we develop it?
We could.
We could. That's why I said development banks.
Ghana rice is also nice.
That is why development banks are very important, so that they will look strategic in areas where we can develop to support the long term, the short term, and the medium term. Other than that, a time will come, we will have ourselves to be blamed. If we don't do that, I am predicting, if we don't support the export very well, I'm not a prophet. If we don't support the export by looking at the cashew, the salt, the oil palms, and this and that, and try to turn it around, a time will come, the cedi will be trading 10 cedis to $1.
No, God forbid.
This is not God. You don't pray for it. This one is the action. God has given us, you see, God is so good to Ghana that he has blessed us with every resources. Take a look at across there. Plantains are planted in Accra, and they are able to harvest it. We are the only country in the world that I think God has blessed us, but we are not being graceful to God. The talent is, we are not utilizing it for the benefit of the poor and the less privileged.
Does it mean the universal license that was issued in the year 2000 has in a way contributed to the crisis?
You're not far from right. You're not far from right. I believe the issuing of the universal license has contributed to part of the problem, and I have empirical evidence to tell you. Because if you give a license to a bank to do things where he does not even understand. So people went to oil trade, refine oil. They did not even know that if you import it and you don't have collateral, you need to put it in tank farms. They didn't know that there is a place called tank farms, like warehousing for rice. Yeah. They did it. And they give the commodity to the person he sold. Because you see, you are giving a license to quote, I will beg to quote the word of God. You see, the universal banking is Christ that strengthens. You can do all things.
Through Christ.
That is the license give you a huge platform.
Yes.
But you do not have the competencies and the ability to do what you're doing. And we see we are going to even make mess now. Now we are recapitalizing without thinking about capacity building, training of people to understand the risk and the risk parameters and complexities of that. Tacit knowledge is in your hand. You have a tacit knowledge that cannot be explicit knowledge. Yeah. And because you have that tacit knowledge, you live with it and die with it. It's so that God has been so gracious to you that you never died with it. You are now doing this program to enhance, to enhance and to improve others. Yes. But others are phased out. That is the reason why today you hear apps coming in, you hear these online businesses. People do not even understand the challenges, the cyber crime. People don't appreciate it.
They don't even understand what
That is the reason why.
Because everybody is doing it.
Let me also do it.
Go into it.
That is what is happening in our industry. Everybody is doing, this one is doing apps, let me do it. They have never sat down to calculate the risk in that thing. That one day, if we get boom, the cost of it can be very, very enormous.
Sir, let's look at the bank balance sheet. Can you give us some food?
Yeah, the law, the Bank of Ghana has a regulation that tells you how to classify loans. If you don't classify it well, you'll be taking the interest into your profit and then declaring dividend. Whereas they should have gone in suspense account, which is not classified. Now, that is why IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards, 9, is now being introduced that there are very stringent measures for classifying loans. It came on 2008,
Yes.
implemented in 2009. But because we lack the skill and the data, it comes with data. EAD and all those things have to be collected. And then you simulate it with a make projection. Past dues and all those things need to come. But unfortunately, we were not up to the task. Whereas the international banks or the active banks were doing it in their jurisdiction, we were not doing it. And if you find out, that is the reason why we have 7 banks who were not under providing. Once you under provide, you hype your capital. So when the actual assess is done, your capital is taken away. Capital is eroded. That is why some of the banks will have a challenge.
Where were the auditors?
Well, thank you very much. This is another area that has come of late.
When this crisis came up, we were all looking at corporate governance. That is the most relevant issue that came up, that people were not up to their task. But I think it goes beyond that.
Thank you very much. You see, what I'm saying that it goes beyond. There are six factors. I'll quickly tell you and come to the auditors. I have told you the macroeconomic instability.
Yeah.
Government itself also contributed to it because government has been owing some institutions. Previous government were owing, according to IMF, they were owing and they didn't pay. But you see, if you are going to apply IFRS and IAS 32 and 39, you have no place to hide. If government doesn't pay, who cares? You make provision and write-offs. So government is part, the microeconomic instability is part, then the corporate governance is part, and then Bank of Ghana infractions and weaknesses is also part. And then the weakness in Bank of Ghana's own operational independence and governance practices. Why I say so is that there is difference between the regulatory infractions caused by the banks, and there is what your own internal mechanism failed. Bank of Ghana internal mechanism fails. How do you license savings and loans, upgrade them just like that? What did you see? I'm just telling you. I'm telling you the 6. The last one, Bank of Ghana operational independence and corporate governance failure. Bank of Ghana's own corporate governance failure. Then the last one is the external auditors failure. The external auditors were supposed to qualify accounts or send qualified, because once you say fair and true value, then everybody take to mean that you have vouched for the figures. How can banks underprovide? Capital eroded. Then they were being issued with certificates of what? So for me,
no, the auditors, they have to.
The external auditors,
their job is to just give a true and fair view of whatever they go to see.
So how did you give true and fair value?
But from what I know, they foresaw these things, discussed it with management, and yet nothing was done about it.
Yeah, then you should have qualified the account, or what we have to call modify or qualify.
Most of the accounts were qualified.
Qualified to Bank of Ghana. Did they tell Bank of Ghana?
I think so.
How long did they tell to take Bank of Ghana?
Because you said that some of the issues came from 2016, and some banks should have been liquidated way back 2016. That means that Bank of Ghana had this information.
Yeah, that is what we call regulatory forbearance. They should have taken action. But what I'm saying is that, can the auditors of these banks tell us that they actually qualified all the 6 banks throughout the period, throughout the time?
7 banks.
I doubt whether they did it. If they did it, Bank of Ghana would have now been caught pants down. Why would Bank of Ghana appoint Boulders to do review on it? If auditors are genuine auditors are submitted accounts,
What if the banks themselves window dress the accounts?
bank cannot window dress it. The auditors will sign off. And don't forget, when we have the long form format, Bank of Ghana introduced a system that when the auditors will even sign off the account, they bring the long format to BSD. And the BSD will discuss the issues and tell you that last year, your loan provision was it. We want you to look at it. If you're not satisfied,
Those are the queries.
the long format report comes with queries and needs to be addressed. So I'm saying that if loan books were bloated, did the auditors, when they were auditing the final years, couldn't see it? It took the IMF to come and tell us.
I think I have to bring an auditor on this program.
You need to do that to defend themselves. After all, Ghana ICA has even made a statement on this that they believe that the part of the failure was the external auditors who did it. So you can even check from internal Institute of Chartered Accountants if they have said something.
I'll sure do that.
So you can see the 6. It's a myriad of issues. It's not only corporate governance. It's not only Bank of Ghana infraction. It's not only Bank of Ghana weaknesses. It's not only microeconomic stability. It's not only government failure.
Yeah.
Then we have the auditors who are supposed to be the first front line to tell them that this is wrong. They also fail. So it's a myriad of issues that needs, if we want to go forward, we need to take each and every one. Bank of Ghana has taken the corporate governance directives as to whether they would enforce it to the letter. That is, you see, we have a fantastic laws in this country. Even 673, 204, Banking Act 673, as amended 738, 207. If you look at it, if you read it extensively, it's one of the best laws in Africa.
But as to whether it's being
implemented. But as to whether it's being implemented and enforced. So this BSDI 2016-930 is a fantastic document. But my only concern, implementation and enforcement. If we are able to do that, we will not experience what we have experienced over the last 10 years.
Viewers, will take a short break. We'll be right back.
What a new way to cool off and quench your thirst. And now everyone is enjoying the surprising experience of Paradise Park treated drinking water.
Hi.
Join the refreshing experience and enjoy the all-new Paradise Park treated drinking water. Paradise Park treated drinking water. Drink pure, live more. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Dole? We want more.
Welcome back, viewers. Thanks for watching Time with Your Banker and Financial Advisor, sponsored by Securities and Exchange Commission, Dole Yogurt, and Paradise Water. Dole Yogurt, they have given me a very long write-up to talk about their product. They are saying, for a great start of your day, trust Dole Yogurt. Dole fruit yogurt is delicious, creamy, and thick, and it's your best choice of refreshment any day during your busy schedules and relaxing moments. It comes in fruit cocktail, strawberry, vanilla, and natural flavors. Dole yogurt is very nutritious. It strengthens your teeth and helps lower your cholesterol levels. Your Choices fruit yogurt also aids in weight management. It aids in weight management, fights anemia, vaginal infections, and cancer. It is high in protein, boosts metabolism, improves hair and skin care, reduces the risk of heart disease and osteoporosis. A cup of Dole yogurt a day gives 49% of daily calcium, and the minerals are essential for your severe biological processes such as regulating blood pressure, metabolism, and bone health. Dole yogurt, you need more and more and more. So far, what's the way forward?
At least Bank of Ghana has come out with fantastic policy concerning the corporate governance directives, transitional directives, mergers directives, financial holding directives, proper faith tests. It's a wonderful package. As I've said, if we want to go forward, Bank of Ghana should ensure that all these things that they have packaged it nicely enforced to the letter. If they do that, we seem to have a better future for the banking sector. Then the second one is to look at the whole thing, the financial sector. Currently, it is being multi-regulated, what we call multi-regulation.
Yes, I know.
A time has come for the finance ministry and all the regulators to begin to think and say that we cannot go forward. The reason why it's very dangerous is that SEC is controlling some part.
Yes.
Insurance is controlling. Bank of Ghana is controlling. You see, what buttresses my point is what I'm going to tell you. When the men's gold issue came, because there is a regulatory arbitrage, they positioned themselves in areas where they were not properly regulated. So we said regulatory arbitrage is showing less intrusive regulation or no regulation.
Yeah.
If we had a holistic regulation like what the English have done now, Twin Peak, like the Kenyans, like the South Africa,
that's the
regulation will be done in one house. Market conduct will be done one place. So Bank of Ghana could not have said that don't give your money. And SEC will wait until some time and say no. Because in the Twin Peak approach, regulation is looked at holistically. And then we have one sector for market conduct. He was saying he was paying 7%. It's a market conduct issue. How can you pay 7% a month? When the gold price which you are doing derivative was dragging down?
Going down.
Because there is no market regulator.
And 7%, is it realistic? 7
No,
times 12.
you see, if it was
84.
The guy saw that I can do things, no regulation. But if you don't take care, these things are going to surface and surface. So the government, the finance ministry, the 4 regulators must sit down now and look at the emerging areas and see how best we can integrate regulation. Now, the fourth one is to regulatory enforcement. Bank of Ghana must be up and doing on top of the industry. I know in regulation follows, but in Ghana, the regulation must be ahead. We shouldn't wait for the regulated to take the lead before we follow. The regulator should be ahead. So that you can have a proactive regulation methodology. Other than that, a time will come, we'll face the same thing. A time has come for us to look at how do we support the productive sector, i.e. agric, with the view of improving the exports. Non-traditional export only fetches 2.5 billion 2017. The non-export record from 2005 gave us 500. So considering about 30 years, we've only done 2 billion. But we have too many things in this country. Palm oil.
Well, we have cashew.
Cashew. We have pawpaw.
We have
mangoes.
We have banana.
Kenya is doing flowers daily to Kenya, $5 million every day. If you multiply the $5 million flowers from Nairobi airport, multiply by 365 is about 1.5 billion. That is only one commodity. Why are we having so many things? But because it's not properly done. So I urge them, those who are in position, to go back and look at the export strategy put up by the previous government. And let us all see export as the only solution. Export of non-traditional. I don't mean cocoa. I don't mean gold. And I don't even talk about oil. Because I think once we lose focus of the agric, the Dutch disease will hit us and we will have a shock of our life. Create the infrastructure, especially value chain, production and export. It will help us so that the country does not be dependent on imports. It hurts me. Anytime I speak, people say yesterday, somebody said I got emotional. I got emotional because I am a son of a farmer. My mother sent tomatoes and oranges, would you believe, to Wagar. My mother used to export.
Wow.
I bet you.
This is over 60 years
Years ago.
So where did all this vision go to?
Now we sit here, tomatoes is brought from Tamale, Wagar,
Yeah.
and onions, and we want to clap for ourselves. So I get a bit upset and emotional about why we not doing the right things. I hope governments and successive government will look at this, because that will be the only solution to the challenges. And don't forget, it's solves poverty, unemployment.
Yes.
It will reduce the urban drift.
Yes.
That's why Dr. Kuguzia said that we need to have a rural development project, so that we create the same enabling environment in the rural areas, so that people can go to the farms and come and watch their Acapulco and your program. They have talked about criminal proceedings against those who misapplied monies. I believe the law should also to look at the criminality. And those who are found culpable, as I've said, and I will say it, they must face the full rigors of the law. Let me now remind you, people borrowed 50,095 cedis. They were executed. So if people are stealing billions of cedis and dollars and want to clap for them, it is left to Hannah. But I believe we must prosecute those who are supposed. And those assets that could be sold must be sold with all the speed and alacrity, so that at least we will be recouping some of the losses. We must make sure that we do what is right. In Proverbs 27 said, open rebuke is better than that just coercing people.
Yeah.
Let us be truthful to ourselves and call a spade a spade.
Say, I agree with you, because you can get it, the same scripture in Ecclesiastes 8:11. Because sentence against an evil deed is not executed speedily, the heart of the sons of men is fully set to do evil. I hope this time around the law will take its course. Thanks for watching Time with your banker and financial advisor, sponsored by Dole Yogurt, Securities and Exchange Commission, and Paradise Water. See you again next week.